Welcome to the Owner's Playbook with Tony Novak, a former NCAA coach turned CPA executive coach, to walk you through real life decisions that win or lose the game for small business owners. Today's topic is selling mom's house, and it really could be any asset, and it really could be any relative. The point is that people come to me often with a tax concern, want to address the tax questions first, and not that taxes aren't important, but they're very often not the first thing to consider. Let's step through a transaction like that to make your life easier. So the first thing, if we're dealing with a parent or any older resident, we're handling financial transactions, the first thing we want to address is competency. So if you ask me to come in and help handle the transaction, the first thing I'm going to look at is competency. Are we dealing with a person who is fully competent and able to make those decisions on their own, and will they stand up to scrutiny later on if that happens to be the case? So we firstly want to make sure that that's the case. Nowadays, I suggest that one of the best things, besides when we all know we should have a will and durable power of attorney and estate documents, but besides that, I think that a simple video letter of instruction is a fantastic tool that you can do with your cell phone that just repeats this and says, yeah, I have a will. I feel fully confident and comfortable having my oldest two children handle the estate issues and those types of things. Just to have that recorded, don't even assets, and other people may feel that they have a right to be involved, but that's not always necessarily what the person, the parent, the mom in this case, wants. So we have to pay attention to who has access. Just because one sibling, for example, has always been involved in the house doesn't mean that they should be involved in the decision to sell the house. And that's a common thing that we ought to address right up front. See who has access, who has rights to the information, and what rights to privacy does both the mom in this case and the person handling the transactions, who likely is going to be the eventual executor of this estate. The third thing to look at is legal situations. Basically, we're talking about titling of the asset. Who owns the house? Maybe a second person was put on the title some years ago, and that has legal and tax implications. Remember, we started this discussion with tax. We're going to circle back to it. But we want to look at the legal situation. Very often, an issue that comes up in middle-class families is Medicaid eligibility. Older people sometimes want to get the house out of their name so that they qualify for Medicaid, and that's a whole separate topic that we're not going to deal with here. There are risks, there are limitations, there are things to look out for. Again, we're not going to deal with that here, but we do want to consider that before we even get to playing house. And fourth thing, now finally, we're back to talking about taxes, which is where we started. In many cases, taxes on the sale of a parent's asset, home, are not a big deal. We're here in New Jersey, and New Jersey has an inheritance tax for distant relatives, but in most cases, that's going to stay in the family, and those kinds of taxes don't apply. Income taxes tend not to apply. I mentioned about putting another person on the title. That can trigger a tax, and so we need to consider those things. But in general, we should deal with the first three things first, then get to taxes, and in most cases, we'll find out that taxes are the least concerned when dealing with the transaction of selling mom's house. So as always, I'm open for questions. I'm easy to reach on social media, And I do offer consultations on an informal basis by phone just to explore these types of issues. Um, no commitment, but if we make a plan to go forward, then we would take some formal steps. But just to talk things through, I'm available to do that, and I'm easy to reach on social media or online. Find me at southjersey.cpa. My contact information is there, and otherwise I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the Owner's Playbook.